Welcome. Thank you for joining us. My name is Alex Harris. I'm an associate manager of product support on the community support team here at Meetup. Joining me today, we have Irina and Alissa, and we're going to be talking about community building and sharing some tips for how you can start a thriving community here on Meetup. We hope that when you leave today, you are well equipped to do that. Our purpose here on the community support team is to answer questions from you all and organizers on our platform. So our plan is to share some of those common questions and the answers to those. So to start, I just want to go over some of our event guidelines. So this video is being recorded. However, you will not appear, just me and Alissa and Irina will be on here. You are muted, so you can ask any questions that you have in the Q&A, and we will get to those at the end. And then we have closed captioning available, and to turn that on, just click the live transcription icon at the bottom of your screen, and you can select your preference there. So next we have our agenda. We'll finish up our introductions, and then Irina and Alissa and myself will do some demos for you, and then we'll save the last 15 minutes or so for a Q&A session. So then just to recap, I'm Alex, Associate Support Manager on the Community Support team. I've worked at Meetup for about 3.5 years, and I'm based here in New York City. And I will let my colleagues introduce themselves now.
I guess I'll go first. Hi, my name is Alissa. I'm a community support specialist at Meetup, and I've been around for about 2.5 years, and I'm happy to see all of you in the chat today.
And I'm Irina. I have been with Meetup for 3 years. I'm also really excited for this event and to talk about some tips. I am an organizer myself, and I'm excited to bond with others.
Awesome. I think I will hand it off to you, Irina, to start our demos. I'm going to stop sharing so you can take over.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. So hi, everybody. I have a list of questions that and demos that I'm going to walk you through. And let's just kick it off. Let me share my screen. Sorry about that. I'm having a little. Okay, so I'm having a Zoom issue. I don't know why it's happening, but let me try this again. Chrome share. Yay, okay. Thank you for your patience. I apologize. It always happens. Okay, so the first demo that we're gonna do is, the first question we're gonna answer is, how do I start a new group? As you can see, I am already logged into my account. So the first step for you to do would be to sign up if you don't already have one. And then once you log in, you're gonna see a red start a new group button. You can't miss it. We made it visible. So we're going to go through the steps of doing that. It's pretty straightforward. We made it really easy, but let's do it together. So there's 5 steps. And the first one is to set the location. I know that right now we're leaning towards a more virtual world, although things are beginning to reopen. And with that, you might have a question of, does my group need a geographic location if I am remote? And the answer is yes. Yes, we still are promoting groups and events based on their geographic location. And so even though your group might be remote, you still need to create a location. And I would recommend still staying in your city, in your state, but you might optimize for a more central location. For example, I'm in Brooklyn right now, but I am going to keep it as New York, because Manhattan does have a wider span of members. So I'm going to keep it as that. It already knows. And a few topics to describe your group's interest. I was thinking of what test group we would create. And I was thinking about this as I was eating ice cream. So we're going to create an ice cream lovers group. And for topics, right? So since this group is about ice cream, I'm going to want to select, of course, ice cream socials, great. But I'm also going to go for things like food and drink, foodie, maybe even healthy living. Something important to keep in mind is that members, when they create an account, as I'm sure most of you, probably all of the people on this call, are already members of Meetup. And I don't know if you remember, but when you created your account, you selected interests, things that you were interested in. And so you want to maybe think about what are some popular topics that members might have selected, right? So foodie is like a very easy, common one. And then maybe something very niche, like ice cream lovers in Atlanta might be something very, might not have as many people that selected that topic. So I'm going to try to go for popular ones like food, maybe even food photography. Why not? Dessert. Did I spell dessert wrong? Yes. Okay. Dessert. And I am going to leave it as that. And I'm going to go next. But another thing to keep in mind is we allow you to choose up to 15 topics. And we do recommend a minimum of 8. However, if you select less than 8, as some people do, they might select like 2 or 3 topics, then we actually add topics on your behalf when we approve your group, when we review it. So, you just do your best and don't worry about it too much, because we'll make sure that we put great topics on your group. What will your group's name be? So it kind of already selected one for me. I'm going to say New York ice cream lovers. Next. Okay, so we do encourage you to be as specific with your group's description as possible, because this will attract more members. This might answer questions that members would have. A lot of times we see organizers might maybe put something more vague, and then they report that members will ask the same questions over and over. And so this is an opportunity to really connect with the people that will see your group's homepage. And we give you 3 prompts to think about, right? So what's the purpose of this group? And then, for example, I'd say the purpose of this group is to connect with other ice cream lovers around, actually, I don't need to capitalize that, around New York City. We will visit ice cream shops around and discuss and bond over this great dessert. Who should join? Anybody. Anyone is welcome to this group. We do not allow, actually, our policy to have members that are under the age of 18. However, if somebody under the age of 18 does come, then we ask them to have a parent or a guardian. So I might say that, right? Because this is a group that anyone's welcome to, and ice cream is available and appealing to literally 4-year-olds. So I might add, if under the age of 18, must be supervised by an adult. And then what we do at your events. At our events, we'll eat lots of ice cream. And then maybe like, what else should people know? This is a question that I really want you to think about. Like, what should your members know? Please note that I will not be providing free ice cream. So make sure to have your funds in order before coming. I don't know if that sounds mean, but anyway, so just to give you an example of me trying to be as specific as possible, we even gave you an example, a few examples here that you can check out when you create your group. Okay, let's go next. This is just to acknowledge that we have some community guidelines, right? We want to provide growth opportunities and encourage interactions, create a real community, and have a host present, be transparent. So I agree, and my group is in review. As I mentioned previously, all groups are manually approved by somebody on the community team. And so my group is in review, but let's finish. So about me, I'm just an ice cream lover looking to make more friends with a similar mindset. Okay, so my group I think is done right now. I even selected a photo. Okay, so the next question that we're going to go over is, how do I schedule a recurring event? Again, scheduling events is also fairly easy because we make it visible on the group's homepage. So I'm going to go ahead and click the schedule button. It's something that I really so highly recommend if and when you do create your own group, is to have an event on the calendar, because you are going to have quite a few members check out your page and join. And it would be nice for them to already have an event lined up, because you're going to have some interest right away. So title, what's my name? Ice cream sampling. I know that, like I said before, there is COVID restrictions. So that's something else to be mindful of. And actually, now that I think about it, let's keep this a virtual event. So let's say ice cream sampling from our homes. And that looks good to me. Upload photo. I already went into Google and I found this photo, which I thought was pretty. So I'm going to show you how I find photos on my thing. I'm just going to save the image. That didn't open a tab. I'm going to take a screenshot. Okay. Upload photo. For some reason, my Chrome has been acting up all day, and it's actually all of my, I wasn't able to upload anything to anything today, not just the Meetup platform. So I'm going to skip that part, but let's go into the description. So we're going to keep this event COVID friendly and get our own ice cream. Join the Zoom meeting and we'll talk about the ice cream we've chosen. Make this an online event, yes. So I do not have a Zoom link ready, but I'm going to just sample it. Zoom.us. This is something you would need to figure out on Zoom itself. Since I am, I'm going to create a recurring event, a repeat event. There is an option to set your Zoom link to continue over time. There's an option to have a Zoom link that is only going to be available just once, like at a certain time on a certain date. But you want to be mindful of that, since we are going to be meeting on the regular basis. You want your link to be working for all of those times. Repeat event every week on Wednesday sounds great. So you could set an event date, or you could repeat until canceled. So I'm going to select this repeat until canceled option, and then I'm going to show you how to cancel it. let's publish that. Sounds good to me. Okay, so now, as you can see in the events, my events are now recurring until the end of time. They're going to keep going and going. And let's say I decide that I like these few events, but in September, I'm going to be having something different and I'm going to cancel this event. So what I do is I go to manage and I click cancel event. And I have three options. I can cancel just the September 1st one. Sorry about that. I can cancel and delete this event. Or I can cancel, delete this event and all of the following events. And that's the one that I'm going to go under. So this option makes it so that all events after this date are going to be completely deleted. So I am confirming. And then when I refresh, it should be done. There you go. Next two things we're going to talk about is how to collect member dues and event fees. Right, so you are putting time and effort into your group, and some organizers create member dues to offset their fees. It's also fairly simple. So we're going to go to manage group, edit group settings, scroll down to member dues, and follow the steps. So I do need to set up a Stripe account in order to do that. And we walk you through this all. So I don't know if you can see that part of my screen, but it's a little bit blocked off. Yeah, so I basically would follow the steps on here. I'm not going to go through it on screen because it is going to ask me to fill in my credit card and whatnot. So we're going to keep it private. But if you have any questions specifically about dues, right on your the dues page, if you scroll down, as you can see, there's a whole list of FAQs for you to go through, which will answer any questions you might have about the dues. And as for event fees, so now let's see, we're going to go to my groups. This is my normal group. I'll actually go into it for a moment to walk you through, but let's go into event fees. So if I go to my event and I go to manage, so and I click edit event, I have the option to edit just the August 4th event or all of the events that I've scheduled for this particular event series. I'm going to select all. I'm going to go to edit and scroll all the way down to event fee and decide how I want to get paid, right? So direct from member or PayPal. I'm going to select direct from member, right? Let's say I would prefer to get paid through Cash or Venmo. And then my event is $5. You can select your refund policy and then save changes. Don't forget to do that. So now let's say that you do want to get paid through Venmo, and you can totally do that. You can get paid through Venmo or PayPal, or I know that people are dialing in from all over the world. You might have an external platform that you use in your country. Like I know that Canada has a very a special one that only Canadians can use. So you can use that. I would recommend putting that into your event's description so that your members know. And to give you an example of how I do it in my group, I'm just going to go into it right now. Sorry, your groups. So I have a meditation and journaling group, and I ask for donations during my events. So just to give you an example of how I do it, I make it clear. I say this is a donation-based event and I appreciate your contributions. Then I put my Venmo and my PayPal. And then I just kind of let people know what the donations do for me. I like doing it this way, and you might be inspired to do the same, but I like doing it this way because it is a challenging time right now and not everybody has the funds to pay for every event, and offering it up for donations kind of gives the flexibility of those that can give to give. And I find that people really appreciate that form of contribution. And yeah, so that's it for me. I'm gonna pass it off to Alissa. I hope that everything that I said was helpful. And if there is anything you want more clarity on, just go ahead and use our Q&A chat feature and we'll get to it at the end of the event. Thank you.
Thanks, Irina. So hello again, this is Alissa. I'm just going to go a little bit more about managing your group and creating a leadership team. And basically what that means is when you start a group, you start with some drive, inspiration, have an idea, and then it grows into a bigger community. And with that said, having that bigger community might be a little overwhelming just for one person to do as an organizer. So what could be an option for you is to try to have more, maybe more members that are there frequently to be a part of your team and then can help manage the group a little more efficiently. So I'm just going to really share with you a breakdown of what that is and what it looks like. And hopefully you all can see this. This is a breakdown of what the leadership team looks like. As you can see at the top, there's the organizer. And then you have other roles that you can assign other members to. So that can help with managing events, maybe adding more members to help manage other parts of your settings, accept members. They can contact members on the organizer's behalf, and you can really use them to come up with fresh ideas for your group, not just manage it on this level. And what I'm also going to do is show you exactly how you can assign someone to that role. So to do so, this is my lovely list of members. And what I want to do is, say I'm going on vacation for a couple of weeks and I might not be able to manage what's going on for a while. So maybe I want a co-organizer to help me with that. So I'm looking at my good friend, Jax. So what I do is I go to the members list by going to this tab, go to all members, and just move over to the right with these three dots here and select change member role. And then it's simple as that. I select this person as a co-organizer and I update the role, and it'll give me a confirmation here. It'll ask me, do I want to send a message? Sure, why not? Let's go ahead and send them a message. And this is the message that they receive. And I can select a copy if I want. So I'm going to go ahead and send it. And now she's a co-organizer. You could do this pretty much the same thing. You could also remove a role. Let's say if somebody leaves and may not be able to manage a group anymore, you can, once again, on the group page, go to members. Instead of going to all members, what I do is go over to the section called the leadership team. And then I have Darwin as an event organizer, but he's going to leave because he's not going to be here anymore. So all I'm going to do is remove the role and just back to a regular member. And that's it. So he goes back to the regular members list, and then you have these two roles. So I think it's a great way of, updating your members, especially ones that have been really active in your groups and you might need a little bit of help. And also there's no extra cost to do that. So if you want to try that, I certainly think it's a great idea. And with that said, I'm going to also go to our next feature, which is the event announcements. This is going to be a little more like me speaking because it's a lot of information. So I'm just going to stop my screen for a second. All right, so for the event announcement and the reminders, it's really a good way of informing your members of any upcoming activities that your groups are planning. So when you create an event, you have the option of announcing it at any time. If you forget by any chance, you get up to 6 days, at least 6 days before the event comes, you will be able to, the system will actually announce it on your behalf. So I think I actually have an event right now that is not coming up until the 23rd of August. So I'm actually going to share my screen again. Okay, so right now, I created an event that is not going to actually take place until August 23rd. And I'm not quite ready to announce it to the rest of my group. So what I did was I left this pretty much open until maybe I'm ready to announce it a little bit closer, maybe like 2 weeks. But if I want to have that early start, I just select the announce button. And what'll happen is that the members will get a confirmation, get an email saying that, hey, the organizer has created this event and you can RSVP to it now. So if by chance, and once again, if you forget to announce your event and it comes a little bit closer to that time, at least within 6 days, what will happen is that the event reminder will come through our system and it will inform your members on your behalf. We also send a reminder to members who either may not have RSVP'd yet to do that at the last minute if possible. And that pretty much works for everybody. I think that we already actually talked about the online URL link, so I'm actually gonna actually skip that. So I just wanted to let you know about the reminders. And let's say you want to update your members regarding this event. So another feature that we have are communication tools. We can send messages to our members, general messages, messages about the event, or if you want to just kind of have a quick message to your members to maybe get some ideas for maybe a next topic for the next meeting. We have ways that you can do that too. So I'm going to start with this event here. And I have 6 attendees right now, but I want to let them know that that this actually, we're going to choose a part. Oops, wrong button. So what we're going to do is send a message. I have the topic that I want to share. So under organizer tools, I go to contact attendees. And right now it shows members subscribe to messages for the meetup. So only the members who have RSVP'd is here. So today's, I'm going to put artist. So I'm just writing a little message here. And then I select submit. So I get a confirmation that the message was sent. So basically everyone who RSVP'd gets a notice that we are going to talk about this artist on that day for 2 hours. So that's one way of keeping contacts with your attendees. But if you want to send a general message, let's go over to the group page. To send a general message, you would go to Manage Group and select Contact Members. And one of the cool things about doing this, you can also actually not just only send a message to everyone, but if you'd like, maybe you want to only send people messages on the leadership team. Maybe you have an announcement to make that only they may need to be informed about. If you want to actually select a specific list of members, you can go to custom list, select a new list, and you can add the members, and you could also customize the name of your list. And once you send your message, you can enter a subject, you can enter text, you can do some basic images, and then all you have to do is click submit, and the message will be sent to all your members. If you're the type of person that like to have more content to the point of where you want to maybe kind of finesse up your emails, maybe you want to have like more formatting options like font wise, or adding links, more images. You also have the option to use your mailing list email address. And to do that, you can go to, let's see. You can go to group settings. Just to get in basic optional features, this is just to give you an idea of where you can find your mailing list address. And you have some settings that you can use. So for me as the organizer, what I would do is I'd copy this email address, and then I would use my email clients such as Google, Google Mail, Yahoo Mail, and I would make the message in the way that I want to format it. And from there, what will happen is that after you create your message and you use this email address, it will be sent to all your members. So I know there are a lot of organizers that prefer to use that because they like to make their messages a lot more spiffy looking. So I think maybe if you want to do that, this would also be a helpful option for you. So another way that you can also do quick messages with your members is through the discussions tool. And discussions is kind of similar to like a comment thread. So maybe you want to just quickly just send a message to your members so they can get feedback. So here's an example of a message that I wrote. Hi, we like to focus on the theme of our music for next month's meeting. We'll focus on the pop genre. Let me know some artists that you listen to that sing outside your native language. So I got some really cool comments that I can use to research some of these artists. And if you like, you can also kind of hit a like to let your members know that you noticed. So I think this is a kind of a neat feature. If you want to just have like a quick conversation with your members, maybe prior to the event. This type of comment thread is also available in the events, on the events page. And the last thing that I'd like to share regarding communicating with your members, which everybody likes, are photos. So as Irina shared, you can also add photos to your event page. If members want to see like your last events, you can definitely post, some pictures of your event here, and they might say, hey, wow, this looks cool. Everyone is together and having a good time. I want to join this group too, or I want to join the next event. So I think Irina already kind of explained how to upload photos, so I'm not really going to go too much into that. But those are a lot of ways that you can communicate and message your members, and hopefully that was helpful for all of you. And I think that is it for me.
Thanks, Alyssa. I can go into a couple of topics here. The next one I want to talk about is gathering in person. I know that this is becoming more possible for us to do now, and we're all learning how to function in this new world that we're in. So I just want to talk about the question of hosting events in person and Meetup's guidelines around that. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. All right, so we have this nice blog post. I'll post a link to this when I'm done talking. But if you can read it.
Oh, I think Alex froze. She'll be back.
If she doesn't unfreeze, then we can move on. And then when she comes back, she'll be happy to send it, I'm sure. Or actually, I might find the blog on my own.
Oh no, she really disappeared. Okay.
It's okay. I mean, I also had a Zoom issue earlier. It happens. We're navigating the virtual world, and we can't always predict how it's going to go.
Right.
And yeah, and this is good for all of us to practice patience with the people that are navigating these issues, and for people that are going to be creating virtual groups, something that you might want to let your members know. I find that in my groups, I've had in my virtual events, sometimes my computer froze, or I had bad service. I was traveling a little bit. And so in the beginning of my event, I always just ask my members to, be kind with me. I appreciate them for their patience. And I say hey, if my internet cuts off, I'm really sorry, don't take it personally. And everybody is, fairly kind about it, and people really understand. Yeah, I think that we can go into the Q&A for now. And then when she comes back, then she'll step in.
Oh, she's back.
Oh.
Super fast, Alex.
Hey. And
what a convenient time for my internet to go out.
yeah.
Okay, let's start. I don't know where I cut out. I was talking into the void for a little bit.
You're going to send the link.
Okay, wow. I was talking to myself for a while then. I will send this link out. Okay, so a summary is just that if you want to gather in person, it's really up to you and your group. This sort of lists out some of our recommendations for that, but the gist of it is you'll really want to make sure that you gather safely and in compliance with your local area's guidelines. So some areas lifted mask mandates for vaccinated people indoors, and those are now being reinstated. So just make sure that you educate yourself and you're aware of what's required in your area if you plan on hosting an in-person event. And as always, just be respectful to each other's choices and everyone's space. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, let me just hide this thing, our help center and navigating this. Probably 99% of the questions you'll have about using Meetup can be answered here. So we're always adding new articles here, updating old articles to make them more helpful. So it's just a great resource for you to use, and you can search for questions here, or you can browse by topic. So anything from organizing groups and events, learning about Meetup Pro, or exploring some of our policies and community guidelines. So as an example, if you want to learn about our payment policies, that's here. What to do if an organizer doesn't show up for an event, or if you need to know how to remove or ban a member, you could click into here and see some step-by-step instructions for how to do that. You can navigate to the Help Center by typing in meetup.com/help or help.meetup.com. And it's also linked at the bottom of every Meetup page, so you can easily find it. We love, answering your support questions via email, but this is a faster way to get support from us. If you're browsing the Help Center and you're not finding an answer to your question, you can click on this blurb here and type in a question like how to set up dues, and we're going to surface some answers for you. You might decide that this doesn't really help you that much, doesn't answer your question about dues. So you can say, no, show me more. We'll show you some more. And if this answer was still not helpful, you can say no, and then contact us. And then you'll just fill out this form here. What do you need help with? Yeah. And then you can type in any additional details you want us to know about, add any screenshots or files that you think would be helpful for troubleshooting or having us understand your question, and then you can submit it. And it'll go into our queue, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. I think it's time for some Q&A. Let me exit the screen share and we can get started on that. Let's see. Y'all see any ones you want to answer?
Yeah, I can kick off. I wrote a few down. Somebody asked, how do I introduce member dues? What's a good fee to start with members who were already free members? This is a question that comes up a lot, right? You want to be able to, you want to be fair in your pricing. So maybe charging $50 for an event is an unreasonable cost. I would say $5 might be a good place to start to test it out. But even before that, I would even recommend reaching out to your members and ask them what they think is fair and reasonable, because you might have some people in your group that are really struggling during this time. And so I would say be honest in asking them of like what you're charging the dues for, and then get their feedback, right? Every group is different. Every group grows and evolves differently. An ice cream lovers group is different from like finance tech groups of people that are working class. So yeah, that's what I think. And then another question somebody asked, which is also very important to talk about, and I apologize that I didn't go into it, but it was, can dues be collected for a Canadian-based group? So we actually, for US-based groups, we offer mandatory dues, right? They're set up through Stripe. And what mandatory dues mean is that a member will have to pay in order to stay in your group. So if they do not stay in the group, they do not pay, our system will automatically remove them from the group. It will, of course, send them notices. It won't be like out of the blue, they'll get removed, but we'll ask them, we'll send them an email saying, hey, you still haven't paid. And then if they still don't, then we'll remove them. Again, this is only for US groups at this time. For groups that are outside of the US, we offer dues through PayPal, and these dues are no longer mandatory, they are optional. What this means is that your members will still be notified and asked to pay the dues, but if they do not pay them, our system will not automatically remove them. That said, what you can do if you prefer the removal of those that don't pay is make it clear to your members. Let them know that if they don't pay, you will remove them. And it's fairly easy to track who paid and who didn't. You can do that by going onto your group's homepage, and then at the end of the URL link, putting -money. And then this is going to collect, if you scroll down, you're going to see all of the members that have paid, and then you can manually remove those that didn't. So I hope that's helpful.
I got a question that I'd like to answer. Ralph asked, what's the difference between a co-organizer and an assistant organizer? And the assistant organizer does have limited, co-organizers does have a higher set of functions than an assistant organizer. Assistant organizers can remove members or add members, they can contact members, and they can also schedule events. However, along with these particular features, co-organizers can update settings and add more members to the leadership team. So if they need another assistant organizer, or they need another co-organizer, or if they want to remove someone who's no longer active, that's basically the difference between the two. I hope that helps your question.
I see a question from John on how to edit your group's name and description after it's been created. You can do that if you go to your group's homepage, and then you'll see a box that says Manage Group. Go there and then Edit Group Settings. And then you can click on Basic Information, and from there you can make any edits to your group's name, description, and you can add topics and things like that from there too.
I'll go next. So the question is, Marianne asked, I have not seen any event reminders for events I created. Is there a setting for that? I believe Alissa talked about it, but I'll just go into it again. Event reminders are automatic, right? Event reminders get sent for every event 7 days before the event and 1 day before event. Is that correct, Alissa? Or is it 6 days before?
I believe actually it's on the 6th day. Also, only members get this, not the organizers. So just want to let you make that clear.
Exactly. Thank you. If you're an organizer and you are looking at your email, into your email inbox, and you're like, where's my event reminder? Don't worry, it went out. You just didn't receive it because you're the organizer, and we would hope that you already know about your event. But the members do receive it 6 days event, 6 days before and 1 day before. And actually somebody just asked about this in the Q&A. And if you go into it, I've been answering questions in the form. And if you go into the Q&A answered, you will see that Sadie asked about the announcements. And I actually put a help center link into the answer. So if you want to know exactly how they work, that would be a good link to check out. And also, if you haven't been following the Q&A, the chat might already have questions and answers to things that you yourself are wondering about.
I want to actually just follow up on that, Irina. There's another question about scheduling the first event. And they said that they don't see the announce button. I see the event showing that I'm going, but I haven't received any RSVP. So how can I announce? The one thing that I'd like to do is it depends on how long ago you scheduled the event. So as we noted before, if you make an event more than 7 days in advance, our system you could announce it before our system does it automatically. However, if you create an event within those 7 days, our system will automatically announce it for you. So you wouldn't see that announcement button. So I just wanted to also let that might be a little common for you to see if you're running an event like at the last minute, but we send it to any members of your group through our system.
Bill asked if y'all are going to be able to continue doing virtual meetups after the pandemic is over. And the answer is yes. Those types of events are here to stay. And we will continue supporting you in hosting those types of events. I also see a question about uploading photos for recurring events. Don asked if you upload a featured photo and put in several dates, on each individual event, there's a place to add more photos. Is there a place where you can add more photos that will go on all dates? There currently isn't a way to automatically add the same photos for each occurrence of that event, but that's a great idea and something that we can surface to our product team to look into and consider implementing.
I think I see a question about a Zoom link, asking how the Zoom links are obtained when scheduling an event. Meetup doesn't provide the Zoom links. What you do is you create, you sign up for Zoom, and when you have your conference call, Zoom will actually provide you with a URL that you can enter onto your event page. So I hope that answers your question, Sheila. Hopefully I didn't misunderstand that, but Zoom has the URL links and you just enter it into your event page.
Also, I saw earlier, I lost the question now, but somebody asked about if they have to have a paid Zoom account to schedule events, and you don't. So Zoom offers a free account and Google Meet does as well. The difference between free and paid is I believe you're limited in how long your meeting can be. I'm not exactly sure what the free module is. I think it's
like 40 minutes, 45.
Yeah. And then I think if you pay, there's different pricing plans, so you can go for unlimited. But I think a free one works just fine.
Microsoft Teams might be a good option. I believe that's free. Yeah. Google Meet, I believe, is free. So, if you want to have longer meetings, but paid options, right, isn't a thing for you, there are plenty of other links that we do support that you can use on the event page.
We got a question about merging two groups into one group. That's not something that is currently possible. There's some, sort of trust and safety concerns around making people join a group that they didn't join on their own. But what we recommend in that situation is sending a message to the members of one of the group and just asking them to go ahead and join a new group, and then they can do that on their own and you can merge the groups that way.
So there is a question for, if I close a group, can I cancel the name of the group too? Or will it be forwarded to another member who says they want the group? If you close the group, it will not be forwarded to another member. If you step down from a group, then your members will be asked to step up to save the group. And if you close the group, be mindful of the fact that your name is going to go with your group. And actually what I mean by that is that somebody else will be able to use the name, but they won't be able to use your group's URL page. That is going to stay with your group. So sometimes people will try to create a group, and when they try to input a URL, our system lets them know that this URL is taken. But then when they input the URL into their bar, the address bar, it takes them to a broken page and says this group doesn't exist. So it creates a little bit of a confusion, but we do that because we just protect the group's name in case the organizer wants to have create a group in the future and use the same name.
I saw a question earlier about how to delete members, inactive members, and if you need to do them individually. So depending on how many you need to delete, you can do that on your own by going to your members page and just clicking that 3 dots icon next to the member's name and removing them from the group. You can sort that list by last visited. So that'll sort of give you an indication of how frequently that person has visited your group. If you're finding that you have a lot of people that are not visiting the group and you want to do a little bit of a purge, you can write into our support team and we can do that for you as like a bulk member removal. I think we might have time for one more and then we can finish up. Do y'all see any juicy ones you want to tackle?
I'm looking. Well, there were a few questions. This is not, it's not so juicy, but I saw a few people ask if a subscription is free, if they have to pay as an organizer. And yes, so it's free to be a member on Meetup, but we do charge a subscription fee for organizers. And the plans and prices are reflected if you go to the Help Center and you type in pricing, subscription, any of those keywords, you'll find the page with our plan and the different durations, and then decide if that works for you. But we are offering a discount, which I believe we're going to talk about at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I was just going to go over
Spoiler
that.
alert.
Yeah. All right. Alissa, anything from you or can I move on?
There is a way, there's a question about a way to duplicate an event. And there is a way you can copy an event and use the same information to use for a new event. There is a setting. I kind of want to share my screen, but I don't think we have that much time for that. When you go ahead and you edit your event, there's a section where you can select copy event to a new event. So that'll allow you to keep all your information, modify anything, and then save it. So it saves a lot of organizers time to do that.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen one last time. And this is that discount that Irina hinted at. If you want to become a Meetup organizer, you can save 30% on your first subscription by going to meetupsavings.com. So you can claim that offer there. And then just wanted to let you guys know that we have an awesome podcast that we started earlier this year with our CEO, David. We've got a new episode coming out tomorrow where David talks to a Meetup organizer. You can get your phones out and scan this QR code to subscribe to the podcast and listen to that episode when it comes out. And then if we haven't already mentioned it, a recap of this event will be posted on our blog. So you can find that at meetup.com/blog. And that is all that we have for you today. Thank you for coming and for asking some great questions. Stay safe and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.